millions of dollars in value. So we put our research hat. We looked at, what is the common thread between the projects that are working and projects that are not delivering on this scale. And what I'm going to be talking about in the next, few minutes is the differences and what we are calling, if we package these proven practices into a 5-step plan, how would it look like? And that is what we are calling our, 5-point AI-driven growth roadmap, especially created for subscription businesses, right? So these are the 5 steps, right? So everybody wants step 3, right? Let's launch AI. Everybody wants to, maybe, a little bit they're thinking about, once you get AI, what do you want to do with AI? In fact, many of our prospects are also asking us, what is AI, right? When we talk about AI, is it Gen AI? Is it prediction AI? Is it prescription AI? Is it autopilot AI? Is it robotic AI, right? There are various kinds of confusion about what is AI, right? And we felt, when we are talking about subscriptions, we're talking about recurring revenue customers that have a lot of potential. Historically, it became difficult for businesses to understand what would customer one want, what would customer, another customer want, how do you keep them longer, how do you price manage properly, how do you, enhance the lifetime value, all of that, right? So the AI we are talking about is different here when we are talking about subscription businesses. And what we realized is, yes, AI, we don't believe any company 3 years, 5 years from now is going to operate without this AI assistance. It is that ready for businesses to take advantage of. But what we found is the difference between the projects that stay as, some laptop project that stays in the silo because, some genius is getting excited about this, and the ones that fully flourish across the channels, across the, departments in your organization, everyone adopting AI, always starts with what we call a maturity assessment, right? So how does your subscription business work today? How does the BI landscape look like? How does the data landscape look like, right? Who is piloting what projects, or who wants to pilot what projects? Who is ready for this? Now, what it does is, as we get to step 3 and step 4, and even better step 5, right? It brings an alignment. And our leader always, Doug always calls, think big, but start small. But start small in a very, very strategic area that brings everyone together, right? So this maturity assessment is always, a very, very foundational step that outlines the difference between the successful projects and, not so successful projects, right? And then what we also found is having a business case that really talks about the value of AI, right? Our team has done these types of business cases so many times, and we understand the unit economics of a subscription customer and the lifetime value of a subscription customer. And I'll give you some examples of how not to do the business cases, especially for subscription businesses, and how to do these business cases. But having a good business case in your hand before we launch goes a long way in ensuring your CFO is on board, your CEO is on board, your board is on board, your CMO is on board, your chief operating officer is on board, regardless of where we start, whether we start in marketing, whether we start in field, whether we start with retention or price increases or lead scoring, it doesn't matter. Having a good business case and a future vision for, once we prove this, like how big will this go, will bring everyone. Now everyone feels like they're part of the game. Now you get, this transformational value that looks like a strategy and not a siloed effort, right? Once we do 1 and 2, we found, okay, let's launch. We have, we are also, packaging all of this with our proven experience. To do this in a 90-day, less than 1 quarter. We will talk about those details in a bit. We can launch. And then, of course, when we launch, we want to keep an eye on how do you operationalize AI? Otherwise, AI is fancy. It will do some predictions. It all looks wonderful, but show me the money, right? Show me the money only happens when you put this AI in the hands of your marketing leaders, in the hands of your call center reps, in the hands of your field reps, in the hands of your sales reps, right? That is the secret to success. Otherwise, AI is equal to insight, and insight is never equal to money, right? So once you operationalize, now regardless which channel you operationalize, whether you operationalize that in the call center, regardless of marketing channel, field channel, regardless of which use case you operationalize this thing, now everybody gets a taste of AI. But remember, we're talking about thinking big, starting small, operationalizing this in one way, and making sure that everyone is excited about this. Now you're ready for scaling. This is when everybody comes together. Cross-functional teams that you may or may not have today are going to be established. We're not talking about adding resources, but we are only talking about bringing people together, bringing existing channels together. So this is a phenomenal, fantastic opportunity for everyone to think through these 5 steps, not rush to step 3 without having this broader, bigger vision, and then systematically executing this.